Ever wonder how pros carry their games in solo queue, regardless of the chaos and regardless of whatever teams they have and whatever game state this is? Well, in this game, our team is a little bit behind, right? 11 to 17 in kills, but the Yunara is pretty fed. And we're gonna watch what aiming does from this situation, right? They got bot tier 1, and let's see what's gonna be the macro decisions and how aiming is gonna claw this way back into a victory. And learn from him. You collect your mid waves and then you do something. You can push for towers, you can take jungle camps, you can look to hover your team with their plays, whether like getting that kill on the Shen or something like that. There's stuff to do on the map after you do your mid waves. And since he was strong in this game and this team wasn't, he dictated the pace on his own, right? He was not waiting, oh, my team, you know, oh, whatever. Right? He dictated the pace on his own terms. He's going to play aggressively, and he's not going to think his team is hopeless, white flag, whatever. No, he's going to get a lot of gold. And when he had that 3-item spike, there's some fight happening in bot side where his Jax bought so much time where they could go get some kills, get the Drake, pushed towers as well. It was brilliant, honestly. And even in the last team fight, he has a bit of a flank, but the way he goes about it is he can just follow up on the engage from his team, right? You're not going to just flank as an ADC and get turned on. Even if you have a bit of a different angle, the best way to play this is to still wait for the engage, and then you can play a little bit more front to back. Because Yunara, although with Yunara you can still be a bit more creative in how you decide to play the fights. And I think that was a really nice conversion of a game. So here's the thing, right? This is the first base we've had since we've taken the first bot tower, right? And you already have these two crazy good items, right? We have Kraken and Fiend Hunter, which are two of the best Yunara items and just designed to be like good on her, right? They're just such good items. So let's see how Yunara is going to play this. Imagine she can play pretty cocky right now because, you know, she's just on a 2-item power spike. And that is something you can get out of Kraken Slayer, Cashback, and Fiend Hunter, right? Fiend Hunter is pretty cheap. Cashback will get you some gold for finishing the Kraken Slayer. So it's actually like, you don't need to be uber fed to get into this situation, but of course he farms well, he has some kills, he got plates and tower gold, so that's how we end up in this situation. Anyway, here the enemy team is really pushing at mid. They have 4 people mid, and our team is all splitting and pushing and doing different things. The enemy top laner is a Shen as well, so he can just collapse and join this. Let's see how we do. So here we're just using W to get through the wave. Watch the Lee Sin. Holy, the Lee Sin just sends it. It's alive. And yeah, this is kind of what you'd expect, right? They have 4 running at mid, and yeah, we just can't really play the game. But our Diane is actually doing really impressive work here on the sideline, and she gets the bot tier 2. That's some really good cross-mapping from the Diana. And on the top lane side, it's going to have the Fiddlestick support just join in the Jax. But yeah, you know, this game is in a pretty difficult state, right? They have the full control of the game. They have 3 Drakes as well. So something you're going to see pretty often from these players is why they have such good CS numbers is that they're always going to push mid-wave and then look for the play. So in this case, you are not collecting the wave, right? They're not on it as it spawns. What are we going to do? We're just going to be in that mid-wave instantly. Now, Lee Sin wants to gank us. We push him out of our own mid-wave, and what we're going to do now? We're going to go to our mid-wave. And that's right. That is how they maintain all of this quality in farm, right? So always look to do your mid-wave, then look for the play. Then mid-wave, then look for the play. And you always grab that mid-wave. There's probably times where you can adjust, right? If there's a really bigger fight that's going on. But if that is not the case, look at him, right? Mid-wave is about to arrive. The wave hasn't even met our own wave. We just send it. And this also means we can take this mid tower because our pressure is just immense, right? That we're exerting on the enemy team. Here picks up the red buff. And we have red-white Aphelios. We are level 11, but we have 2 items on Yunara. So aiming just sends it. Always a good skill test, right? To see if you can do it. I think Aphelios to red-white is quite scary. But hey, you know, these pro players absolutely like to send it in this type of situations, and there's probably like a decent reason why they do it, right? To check the skill test that they go for, I would say. Anyway, we end up getting another kill on Shen, right? So it took mid tower, we took a Shen kill, we have so much gold, and in this case we actually get a Hex Optics 3rd. I believe this was quite good since the patch where they've put X Optics to this point. So with the timer that we went to go top lane to get the kill on Shen, we collect this mid wave, and where are we going? We're gonna push mid wave. That's right. and then we can look to do something. So here's the important part, right? A lot of people just clear mid wave, and then they'll just like, you know, follow along the mid wave. Literally what aiming is doing, right? And there's just nothing else to it, right? And sometimes there's decisions where this is correct to do, where you can just follow the mid wave and it's good. But sometimes you need to hover back with your team and help them set up vision, or you take jungle camps or something. And there's fine details on when this is correct and when it isn't. Judging this is a little bit more tricky. It requires more conditions, but here you go, right? Like mid wave is pushed, we're gonna do some jungle camps. There's always something, right? Where you could look this as a food, as in your main dish is always the mid wave, but you always want to add a side of something. You want to add the side of, you know, matching your team. You want to add the side of killing some guy, but you always go back for that main dish. Maybe that's not the best analogy, but I hope that we get it. Anyway, here they're fighting over the mid wave finally. Since when are we able to go for mid waves in our own games, right? Yeah, again, here it's quite scary. They're like from bottom side because of the fog of war. We don't know if Lee Sin or Ari could be there. Ari is there, but we did have this pink on this bush, so it means we can always hover this top side. And here we can actually sneak this Baron. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, we actually just sneak it. They didn't even think about it. That's crazy. All right, now look at the deployment from aiming here. I think this is quite interesting. So do you remember how we said everything is about going for the mid wave and then doing a side of something? In this case, he actually just goes straight bot because he thinks that the Jax is going to fight for a long time against the enemy team. And therefore, it's a good decision to just straight up run for that because we have 3 items and we're so ready to fight. Like mid-wave is good, consistent farm, but at some point you have your lead and you need to push it to the rest of the game. You need to command the game because you're just so fed, you have so many resources, and you just need to send it. And there's a good opportunity. This looks like a good fight that's going to happen, right? This is going to be soul fight. There's 4 seconds for the dragon to spawn. And there's, you know, the enemy support that's jumping on our Jax. There's the Ari that's coming in, and we're just running straight from base. And the thing about running straight from base is that we have home guards who are actually so fast to get to this type of situation. So going mid lane here would actually take too long to do something on the map, whereas right now we can get a fight, get number advantage, and then prevent them from getting soul. I think that's the plan here, but let's take a look. Yeah, so here the Lee Sin's also here. They're fighting with the Jax. Hopefully the Jax can buy enough time for the chase and the Yunara to come in. It looks like that's gonna happen. And now this should be a really good fight. I think that channel that's burnt on Lee Sin as well. There's just so much damage from the Yunara. Now this Exotic's passive is so cracked as well because you just get the extra range after a takedown. It's like a little different version of a Jinx takedown passive, right? Like you get your takedowns. Here, in this case, we get extra range, so it's super nice. And yeah, we get 2 kills. In this case, you also have the Baron buff that we just sneaked from earlier, right? So we can actually just keep pushing this wave as well, since they can't really contest the Drake, right? So look at the amount of map pressure we have. Jax is already back to collecting topside. There's supportal combat going on in the enemy jungle. Our jungler is preventing the enemy team from having soul, right? By taking our first dragon. And we do some nice split pushing in here. Now notice that he isn't afraid of being on his own because he's just really fed. He has both sums as well, and I think that's a really big reason on why Yunara would play this way. I think if you don't have sums, you don't have ult, it's a lot scarier. You don't have access to like a dash or something to get out of a difficult situation. But in this case, we absolutely do, and that's why we come out of this in this type of situation. Now, okay, now this is crazy. This is going to be the flank ADC angle. But the way we're going to play this isn't going to be like a flank angle, right? Yeah, there's just engage that happens by the time we get there. So I think if you are in this type of situation, you wouldn't just like run in straight into them. We're going to wait for the engage of our team, and we can use our different position from our team to exploit something. But you know, you can't just like actually just walk in front of them. They'll turn on you and you die, right? So there's some finesse to how you flank as an ADC. So yeah, after this, we have a nice wave state going on, right? Our waves are about to come in. We still have Baron buff. There's 4 dead. Aphelios and Shen with very long death timers. And we still have Jace, Jax, who can hit towers relatively decent, right? As well as Yunara, of course. Of course, you can hit towers well. We know what we can do, but sometimes it's good to account for what our teammates have. All right, so here we cleanse the fear from Fiddlesticks. Oh my god, hit the Nexus. Oh my, we just go for the Ari. Okay, Jax gets the stun. Yeah, but like this is difficult target selection, no? Between when you can hit the nexus, when it's correct to still go for the other guys, right? Yeah, this is where we just learned. That is crazy good. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed looking through this mid game with me. If you think there's anything I missed out in terms of key details or something I'm just completely yapping about that I shouldn't, do let me know in the comments. I'm happy to learn, and it's still something that I'm working on, as well as like literally everything else. But yeah, for more content like this, like and subscribe, and see you next time.